It's hard to imagine a creature more strange and wonderful than a turtle. Its age can be counted in decades, not years. Its appearance hasn't changed for over 200 million years, and it carries its home wherever it goes. Turtles are undoubtedly among the most successful evolutionary creatures in nature. They can live for hundreds of years, making them one of the longest living animals on the planet. As long as their body remains intact, turtles are true masters of survival, equipped with an unparalleled defense system that deters almost any opponent. Their legendary survival ability all comes from the unbeatable strength of their shell. Is the shell what makes turtles invincible? A turtle IS shell is a nightmare for countless predators, a feast within reach, yet impossible to eat. It cannot be chewed or swallowed, no matter how strong the jaws. It is nearly impossible to break through this armor. Some may have heard of the eagle's method of eating turtles, grabbing them, flying high, and dropping them to crack the shell. In reality, most eagles only target small turtles, pecking at the gaps in the shell to tear out the meat. Against a fully grown turtle, eagles rarely attack. The large, smooth, hard shell is difficult to grasp, and the effort is not worth it compared to catching mice or rabbits. Among the very few animals that can sometimes break a turtle's shell are crocodiles. Their powerful bite can sometimes pierce the shell. Yet even crocodiles often fail, depending on the turtle species and the variation in their own bite force. Most turtles have slightly dome-shaped shells, making them harder to crush. Aquatic turtles have flatter, lighter shells for swimming efficiency, but weaker defense. Although crocodiles usually target turtles with thinner shells, they still face challenges. Leopards are another rare predator capable of killing turtles, but only sea turtles. At night, when sea turtles come ashore to lay eggs, jaguars attack by biting their exposed throats. This is possible because sea turtles cannot fully retract their head and limbs into their shells, having adapted for speed and swimming in the ocean instead. On land, however, this becomes a weakness. Thus, jaguars do not truly bite through shells, but exploit the sea turtle's vulnerabilities during nesting. Overall, in the natural world, no animal can directly break a healthy adult turtle's shell. Masters of defense, Asian box. Turtles in Asia, turtles of the Quora genus, also known as box turtles, are the ultimate masters of defense. When threatened, they retract completely into their shells, sealing themselves into an almost impenetrable ball. This strategy is similar to the nine-banded armadillo, which curls into a tight ball with armor so tough that bullets have even been reported to ricochet off. But biologically, turtle shells and armadillo armor are very different. Armadillo armor is calcified skin, like crocodile scales, while a turtle's shell is formed from both its skeletal structure and an outer keratinous layer. The shell has two parts, the carapace, top, and plastron, bottom, made up of an inner bony layer, spine and ribs, and an outer epidermal layer of keratin or hardened skin. The overlapping layers make it even stronger, like a combination of chainmail and plate armor. Because of this, scientists are particularly interested in the mechanical properties and bioengineering potential of turtle shells. The mystery of turtle origins. Despite their evolutionary success, the origin of turtles remains one of biology's greatest puzzles. Fossils have only deepened the mystery. For example, in 1887, a 200-million-year-old fossil named Progonocales was discovered in Germany. It already had a fully formed shell, so scientists considered it the ancestor of modern turtles. Because its skull lacked temporal openings, turtles were classified as anapsids, animals with skulls lacking temporal fenestrae. But later, a 260-million-year-old fossil named Eunotosaurus was found in South Africa. It showed ribs and body structures extending outward, clearly in the process of developing into a turtle shell. Yet its skull had both upper and lower temporal fenestrae, meaning it should belong to diapsids, two openings, contradicting the earlier classification. According to current biological knowledge, an animal cannot belong to both groups at once. Another contradiction. Based on breathing, movement, and shell structure, turtles seem to have evolved from aquatic animals. Yet fossils from the Triassic period were found in continental layers, suggesting land origins. Such conflicting discoveries have puzzled scientists for over a century, making turtles both a wonder of evolution and a nightmare for researchers trying to trace their lineage. From giant ancient turtles to modern freshwater species, turtles have evolved in countless fascinating ways over hundreds of millions of years. Still, their true evolutionary path remains an unsolved mystery. Paleontologists continue to chase it with every new fossil discovery. But let us return to our main thought. What if a turtle shell isn't just a defense, but an advantage in the hunt? The predator's nightmare could become a tool against prey. To some extent, this is already a reality for the frill-necked lizard. It uses its spiky neck frill to intimidate opponents, while turtles could use their shells to crush prey. Imagine a nimble predator armed with a powerful weapon, a small but fierce hunter comparable to a wolverine, weasel, or fossa. Yes, such turtles did exist and do exist. Among living turtles, the black pond turtle is a potential candidate. This turtle can grow up to 33 centimeters long. That's bigger than most freshwater turtles. Its weight reaches 6 kilos. With such dimensions, it's quite capable of crushing small vertebrates, perhaps even adult snakes. But why haven't scientists come across the bones of such victims in turtle stomachs? The thing is, the traces of destruction are unlikely to remain. If a snake is crushed, it will turn into a slurry. Even teeth marks will disappear quickly enough. Just imagine squeezing a toothpaste tube. By the way, a turtle is much more likely to feast on a snake egg clutch. It could be an interesting snack. In addition to size, the presence of spurs on the legs speaks in favor of the turtle's predatory nature. These are modified claws, reminiscent of spurs on a rooster's legs. It's easy to assume that such turtles ambushed their prey. Apparently, these reptiles preferred shallow water bodies rich in fish. It turns out that turtles used to hunt in the same way as alligators. An ambush, lightning-fast attack, and then swallowing prey. However, there is no direct evidence of attacks. Maybe those ancient turtles simply grabbed fish and crushed them between their teeth. However, we won't find definitive proof of turtles' ancient battles with dinosaurs because these reptiles didn't leave behind any bones. After all, they are primarily interested in soft tissue. In short, teeth, claws, and spines. Over millions of years, they hardly preserve. Meanwhile, bones are durable and reliable evidence. Interestingly, turtles with powerful jaws could have appeared as early as the late Triassic. Back then, ancient turtles diverged into two branches, one of which eventually gave rise to marine turtles, and the other remained on land, evolving into various species of dry land turtles. Scientists believe that the latter included the ancestors of today's turtles with sharp beaks. They lost their teeth gradually, but this process took several tens of millions of years. Modern turtles couldn't have descended from those ancient ancestors that hunted dinosaurs unless they quickly evolved after the asteroid impact. And who knows? Perhaps one day paleontologists will stumble upon undeniable evidence of the terrible power of turtles. Imagine a turtle skeleton with the remains of a dinosaur in its stomach. So far, the remains of young sauropods have been found in the stomachs of adults. However, turtles back then were about the size of a dog, while today they are more like cats. So it's entirely possible that they occasionally feasted on dinosaur eggs. It would certainly be revenge for all the turtle ancestors that died under the giant's feet. What if some of these lizards developed a taste for turtle eggs? They might have grown larger and adopted hunting strategies, becoming formidable predators. They could even develop thick, turtle-like shells for protection. After all, evolution has a remarkable ability to repeat itself. Such speculations are rooted in reality. For example, dinosaurs and turtles have a lot in common. Both are reptiles. Dinosaurs were initially small proto-avian dinosaurs, but later grew to gigantic sizes. Turtles were small as well, but their descendants grew up to impressive proportions. And what if these two branches of reptiles evolved independently but along the same trajectory? Maybe something like this did happen, but we'll never know for sure. So remember, don't pick on turtles. These creatures are genuinely unique. In their essence, they are shells that move independently. Life forms that carry their homes on their backs are bound to succeed. Thanks for watching. Bye.